This is the Breakfast Leadership Podcast. Boundaries or burnout? You make the choice. Here's your host, Michael Levitt.
Big problem with stress and burnout is we get tired dealing with things that take up a lot of our time. One of those things that has bothered me over my life, and now it doesn't, is clutter and having too many things. Too often, we spend our lives collecting things, and it's innocent. You pick up a couple things here and there. Say you pick up a thing a day. Well, in a year, all of a sudden you've added 365 things to your home. Okay, let's say it's a couple things. Then that's 730 if the math is right. So needless to say, we start accumulating things. And when we do that, then it creates all kinds of challenges. Number one, you have to navigate around stuff. You have to find a place for your stuff. Rest in peace, George Carlin. Or you have all these things that don't necessarily serve you. For the longest time, for people that know me, I used to say that I always dreamed of being a minimalist. But here's the challenge with minimalism is sometimes those get to be extreme. So you have one fork, one spoon, one bowl, one plate. All you're going to be doing is spending all your time washing dishes. That doesn't make sense. I tend to find myself being more of an essentialist. So having the things in your life that are essential to you. Now, to each of us, that's different. If you have a big family, you're going to need a lot of plates and bowls and silverware and cups and all of that, of course. That's what you should have to make your life easier so you're not spending all of your waking hours washing dishes. But at the end of the day, you also need to make sure that what you have in your life is actually serving you. So that, 500 DVD collection that you never watch, which you're taking and spending dollars every month to store, whether it's in a larger home than you need or for many people, a storage unit. So you're paying money every month to store stuff that you don't use. Think about that. What could you do with that money? That stuff you're storing, you're not going to use it. Donate it, recycle it, unless it's something important to you. If you have an antique or an heirloom that you're going to pass on to your children or another family member, I get it. I'm not trying to tell you to not have those things. But at the end of the day, you need to have things in your life that are essential to you. And that's an exercise that only you know what the answer is. I could easily say you don't need that, but I don't know the backstory of why you have that particular item or those items in your lives. I can guess, and I can tell you that, okay, when was the last time that you looked through your DVD collection? Okay, do you need it? No? You know what? Donate it. Donate it to a local library. There's a ton of people that's how they consume content because they can't afford Netflix or they can't afford other streaming services or they don't have cable, but they can go to the library and rent a DVD for free. If you donate all those DVDs to the library, guess what? Now all of a sudden, those things are getting used. Having a ton of clutter does add to stress and burnout. Even though you may think it doesn't, it does, because again, if you have all of these things, and let's say you're renting, all right, so you have to rent a larger place than you need because you have to store all of this stuff. If you didn't have all this stuff that you don't need, then guess what? You would rent a smaller space. In all likelihood, depending on where you live, of course, a smaller space will cost you less, which means you'll have more income to spend on things that you truly need, like food or gasoline or transportation or other things that will help you. And I don't know, maybe save up to go on a trip somewhere instead of paying rent every month for those 500 DVDs that you never watch. I'm trying not to be on a soapbox here, but it was a hard lesson for me to learn because I used to have all that stuff. I used to have the big CD collection and comic books and all kinds of other things. And over the years, I've donated it or sold a ton of that stuff, where now I don't have a lot because I don't need to. I don't need it. If I need to consume something, I'll go consume it. But at the end of the day, I don't need all of these things. I want things in my life that are essential to me right now. And again, over time and over your life, that's going to change. So if you have any questions on this, go to breakfastleadership.com, send me a message. Happy to chat with you. Until next time, be well.
Hey, it's Michael again. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. If you're like many people, you're dealing with some significant stress and possibly approaching burnout. I know how you feel. In 2009, my burnout led to a year of worst-case scenarios. I do not want that to happen to you. If you go to breakfastleadership.com, you can register for a free webinar on burnout prevention, as well as get a free checklist to have successful mornings. Start off each day the right way. Again, that's at breakfastleadership.com. Also, since you are a loyal podcast listener, I'm asking you to like, rate, and review my podcast on iTunes. I look at all the reviews and appreciate your comments, and it helps other potential listeners discover the content I have on the show. I appreciate you, and thanks again for listening.